Good evening. Las Vegas is teeming with poker players from all over the world, and they all have one thing on their mind: a gold bracelet.
That's right. Down at the Rio, it seems like almost every country is represented, and they are really doing it right for their countries. Right now, we have the $1,500 buy-in pot limit Omaha event with rebuys going on. That's usually a very Euro-heavy field, and this one was no different. We started with several, but we are now down to 2 European players who are still in contention for the bracelet: Julian Gardner and David the Devilfish Olliott.
Now, at noon today, the $1,500 no-limit tournament started, and that also had quite a few European players. Roland DeWolf, Ralph Slatroom, and John Duthie were all spotted in that field.
We'll let you know how these players and everyone else at the Rio fares in today's events. At 5 p.m. today, the World Championship Omaha 8 or Better tournament started at the Rio.
Earlier today at noon, the $1,500 event I was just talking about started. Pros like Phil Gordon, Kathy Lieber, and Joe Tejan have already risen to the top of the chip counts. Shannon Elizabeth has also been performing very well in this tournament.
The Heads Up tournament, which had a $5,000 buy-in and is in itself a World Championship event, began today with 8 players. They included Toto Leonidas, Shannon Shore, and Vanessa Selbst. Rounds are now 40 minutes long, and players today started with $640,000 in chips. Paul Wasika, the NBC champ, went out in 9th place and earned over $200,000.
Now, the final table of the $2,000 buy-in 7-card stud event is going on right now. Daniel Negreanu was at the final table. He was chasing bracelet number 4, but he was eliminated in 5th place. Howard Lederer went out in 9th place, and now there are only 2 players remaining in the tournament, both who are well-known stud players. Nick Frangos is 2nd in chips right now, and 1st in chips by a small margin is Jeffrey Lissandro. Now, 1st place in this tournament is over $110,000.
Quick correction, Paul Wasika did not win over $200,000 for 9th place. It was $23,000, just little difference.
Okay, cool.
I wanted to make sure you knew that.
That is a big difference, yeah.
Yeah, okay. The Pot Limit Omaha event with rebuys that started yesterday will see a champion today. Chao Zhang is doing very well in that field, and he has held the chip lead for most of the day. Ram Vaswani, David Williams, and Eric Lindgren are all still also in that field. Jeff Madsen, Dewey Tomko, and Robert Williamson III were all knocked out today.
Now, the other event at the Rio today, which is playing day 2, was the $3,000 limit event. It attracted almost 300 entrants. Now, current Card Player Player of the Year leader, J.C. Tren, is up there in the chip counts. He's looking to solidify his lead. Friends and fellow countrymen Max Pescatori and Marco Traniello also have really nice chip stacks in that tournament right now.
The 6-handed tournament ended last night, and Hoyt Corkins took it wire to wire. He was the chip leader on day 1, and he never looked back. Earlier today, our own Lizzie Harrison had a chance to go over to the Corkins household to figure out what he did to win that bracelet and see how he's feeling today after his 2nd bracelet victory.
We are here in the home of a recent World Series of Poker bracelet winner, Hoyt Corkins. First of all, Hoyt, congratulations on your win.
Thank you so much.
So tell us a little bit about it. What was it like to win your 2nd World Series bracelet?
It's always a thrill to win a gold bracelet. I was very excited. I took a big gamble in a tournament and with a pair of 9s against Ace King, and it worked for me, and that gave me the chip lead.
When was that?
That was 7-handed.
Okay.
When I get late in a tournament, a lot of times I look to take a big gamble.
Well, then you got the chip lead. You seem to have the chip lead for much of that final table.
Yes, I boxed wired this tournament, actually. I was chip leader at the end of day 1, at the end of day 2.
And that's an impressive feat.
Yes, it doesn't happen that way many times.
So what was it like playing Terrence Chan heads up?
Terrence is a very good player, well-disciplined player. Knows his math extremely well, and it was quite a challenge. And I was very fortunate to beat Terrence. Well, 9 and 10-handed, you just gotta pick your spots more, and you gotta play more conservative, and it's more difficult to dance. Where playing 6-handed, you get to dance with a lot of hands, and you can play a wider range of hands, and it gets more opportunity. Well, I won a bracelet in 1992,
And what event was that?
It was Pot Limit Omaha, and right after that, I quit tournament poker for 11 years. Went through a divorce, so I went through a downtime in my life, and I just didn't get cranked back up and get into it. And it does take a sacrifice and a commitment to play. And when I started back in August of 2003, I've almost been started back 4 years now. I had mixed reservations about coming back because I had a good life. But playing professionally takes a commitment. Rio, it's 14-hour days. You have to have a drive to win. You have to make self-sacrifices. And I didn't know if I wanted to go through all that. But
you've done it once already.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I said yes. I wanted to go for it. I wanted to give it a shot and see what I'll have. Oh, it was very much different. It had an extremely high turnover in the professional poker players. I would say 95%.
So you didn't even know the guys you were playing against when you
Right.
came back.
But which was an advantage for me, I think, because when I won Foxwoods, people didn't know me, and it was just sort of like, I sort of snuck up on people a little bit in that event, and was able to win it. Yes, that's my biggest field, making it through 840 players, and
That's a lot of poker.
it is a lot. You play one level at a time. I caught good run of cards and caught a good run of cards at the right time. I was very low in chips.
When was that?
Right before we got to the money, and for whatever reasons, I like to gamble it up right going into the money, and
Because everyone else plays tighter.
Yeah, and I got on a hot roll, and I went from like being one of the low stacks at the table to the chip leader, and continued to catch good cards for the next level, and so padded that. Well, you never say that you're going to win a bracelet, but I would have been very disappointed if I hadn't.
It's great to see a pro walk out of the Rio with the bracelet, especially someone like Hoyt.
Yeah, what a good guy. On the other side of Flamingo Boulevard, the Bellagio Cup 3 tournament series is attracting plenty of no-limit players. Today, our very own Christy Arnett, as per usual, was down on the tournament floor to gather up the information for you.
Welcome back to the Bellagio for your nightly update of the Bellagio Cup 3 tournament series. Currently, the $5,000 final table is going on right behind me. They started five-handed. Since there were only 54 entrants, they played all the way down to the money until 4 a.m. this morning. Now the chip leader going into the final table was Alex Melnikow, and the two short stacks of Antonio Solorio and Monty Weiner are out already. So they're three-handed and fighting for that first place prize of $132,000. Event number 11 was a $2,500 buy-in. A total of 82 entrants generated a prize pool of $205,000. There are currently only about 6 tables left, but still fighting for that first place prize is Scott Fishman, along with 2 second place finishers here at the Bellagio Cup, C.T. Law and Adam Geyer.
Thanks, Christy.
The World Poker Association aspires to be for poker what the PGA is for golf. Earlier today, its founder, Jesse Jones, stopped by our studios to tell us a little bit about his organization.
You've been playing poker for a while now. What inspired you to start the WPA?
My passion for poker. I've been playing the tournament circuit for the last 15 years or so. And I've always loved the game, especially tournaments. And that's where I play exclusively these days. And I just saw a need for the industry as a whole, with the growth the past few years, to have a unified body of some sort, just like every other major sport does, and poker doesn't have it. Plus the WPA. It's modeled a little bit after the PGA, which is another individual sport, and I wanted to have something similar to that, because we have the population, we have greater numbers even in golf, because we appeal to ages of all levels, from young people of 18 all the way up to people of 80. In fact, last year an 80-year-old won his first bracelet of the World Series from a friend of mine.
So you're saying since poker has a greater reach, there's even more of a need to get some sort of organization together to support the sport, just as in golf?
Yes, absolutely.
What would you say the number one goal of the WPA would be?
Is to promote professionalism in poker worldwide. And our mission is to promote professionalism in poker worldwide and support the highest ethical standards in poker tournament activities.
And so you guys have a booth at the Rio. What are they doing? They're passing out those badges?
Yeah, we pass out these patches for free to members and anyone else, even if they're not a member.
Can people sign up?
Yeah, people sign up at the booth. Our annual membership is $50 for a voting member and $25 as a friend of the WPA. We have a special category, if you will, that's available just till the end of the World Series if you want to be recognized as a founding member. Let me ask for a contribution of $1,000. And we have over 100 founding members, most of which are the top pros in the industry. And to mention just a handful, Phil Hellmuth, who won his 11th bracelet recently, was one of our first founding members. Joe Hashem, who's on our board of directors. Johnny Chan, Doyle Brunson, Chip Reeves, Alan Cunningham, Christy Gazes, Wendy Neolis. These are all longtime pros.
It sounds like a great organization to be a part of. I mean, the goals that Jesse talked about are really so important to the poker industry right now.
That is very true, and more people should care about it and sign up, huh?
Absolutely.
Now it's time for what you've all been waiting for, your moment with Mike Matusow.
And now, a moment with Mike.
I'm off Ritalin, boys, by the way. Just wanted you to know.
This moment was brought to you by Mike the Mouth Matusow.
Thank you, Mike. Your commentary is always so very colorful.
He's such a wise man, isn't he?
It's where I look for advice whenever I need it.
Me too. That's all we have for you for tonight's edition of Poker Tonight. Make sure you check back tomorrow for a brand new episode. Thank you, and good night.
Good night, everybody.